Hi, YouTubers. I'm glad to be feeling much better now. I've got a few memories I'm going to relate about my visits to the Halmahera Islands, specifically the island of Morotai, where I went to visit the 307th Bomb Group. They're the ones that flew the four-engine Liberators, which were known as heavy bombers at the time. I was a general staff officer. Some of you may be wondering what it was like at Christmas time in the Pacific jungles during the war. Now, Morotai was an island in the Halmahera Islands. It was shaped like a bedbug. It had a neck that went out from the big round body, narrowed down to a neck and head, and the big bulbous part of the island had still a lot of Japanese on them, although they were out of ammunition, out of bombs. We still had to protect ourselves from them because they'd do anything to get food, for instance. Around Christmas time, the Japanese had evacuated Palawan and went to Luzon up in the Philippines. The Americans, at the very north end of that island of Palawan, the Americans had a big dance in El Nido, a small town, so small there wasn't room for everybody on the dance floor. And they had to divide the men into two groups. Some were wearing red ribbons, some were wearing blue ribbons. And they would change the lights that they lit to locate the area, to light up the area. And when the blue lights were on, only those men wearing blue ribbons could ask someone to dance and get out on the floor. And the reverse for those who were wearing red ribbons. The women who were at that dance were not only the Americans who accompanied the American forces or were in the USO or the some other service organization serving the U.S. troops. They were also purely local people who had, in saving their own lives, had catered to the Japanese. Otherwise, they'd have probably been slain and tossed into a ditch someplace. I myself danced frequently with an Army nurse who had been freed from a prison camp at Palawan. And I remember at one point telling her, I imagine you can hardly wait to get back to the States and get rid of some of your bad memories. The music of the dance was local instrumentations, for instance, a flat-lying instrument that they would pick at with something that their hands had attached themselves to. And it made rhythm, not exactly what we would call music, but rhythm, which could be danced to. It wasn't a typical Christmas that we might have become accustomed to elsewhere with snow and ice and everything, it was pretty hot there in the Halmaheras Islands on Morotai. Even though it was in the middle of wartime with all kinds of shortages, deprivations and everything, they still managed at Christmas time to serve turkey and trimmings. And boy, were they welcome. Decorations on the table included little Christmas trees that had been sent from the States in little crushed, tied together packages that if you didn't do something about them to make them decorative looking, they would be all crushed up and wouldn't serve any decorative purpose whatsoever. So you had to take them apart, turn the leaves out, pull them out, and untangle them together. And that was a bit of a chore, but it was worth it because then they served a good Christmas spirit purpose on table decoration. In the middle of all this celebrating, our enemy, the Japanese, 7 times on Christmas Eve, they sent bombers over and bang, 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 anti-aircraft warned us, run for the foxholes, which we did. And they dropped bombs all around. I remember in one case they dropped a bomb right into an enlisted man's foxhole and immediately killed something like 3 or 4 enlisted men. After each raid, when the all clear would sound, we'd come out of our foxholes and go back to celebrating. And now to happier times. I'd like to say happy holiday season and the best to you for everyone at YouTube. Now I want to send a special greeting to anyone who knows and remembers or was related to a fellow graduate of the Commander General Staff College named Floyd Littlejohn. He was from Texas. I know he used to communicate with his father at Lubbock, Texas. Floyd was my best buddy in the 13th Air Force. And here is a special Christmas greeting from my Australian friend, Steve Troth.
Christmas Eve is here. We go up to bed as we climb the stairs, nodding sleepy heads. Take our stockings off, hang them in a row, then jump quickly into bed and off to sleep we go. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. There you go.
Happy holidays, everybody.